Okay, here we go. Video number 2. Good morning, good afternoon, whenever it is you're watching this. So this is video number 2. I was thinking maybe we could talk about the carnivore diet and what I eat in a day or what you can eat in a day. It's different for everyone. Of course, the basics are meat and eggs. And for some people, it's just as basic as meat, depending on what their health needs are. A lot of times people who have a lot of health issues, especially autoimmune conditions, find it best to just do meat, salt, and water. That's probably the most extreme end of the diet for people who have really serious health issues that they're trying to correct. And on the other end of the spectrum, for people who maybe are just trying to lose weight, there's more wiggle room. People who can tolerate dairy will eat dairy, and pretty much every form of meat, not just beef. They can do some chicken and seafood, and again, cheeses. So it kind of really depends on what your needs are. And, a lot of people try to say that there's really strict rules to carnivore, which I don't really think there is. And I think for some people there even is room for non-animal product foods for some people. And it really, again, depends on your situation. If you really have never had many health issues or sensitivities to food, you might be someone who could add the occasional vegetable. You might be someone who could add the occasional fruit. But some people drink coffee. Some people think coffee is just not carnivore and you just can't do it. I don't like to think that there are such hard and fast rules that, it's going to deter people from doing it. If they think, well, I'd like to do carnivore, but I heard you can't drink coffee, and I love coffee, so I'm not going to do it. And I'd rather see somebody get on carnivore, keep their coffee, and do it, because every step in that direction is going to be better health. And kind of along the same line is, for myself personally, I found that a gradual progression over a few weeks was a better transition for me than just going one day eating the complete standard American diet to the next day complete carnivore. I transitioned slowly. I took things out one at a time and upped my animal product consumption a little at a time, and that worked really well for me. I avoided a lot of the common problems that a lot of people switching to carnivore have. One of those issues is diarrhea. For some people, they get a little bit of diarrhea in the beginning of this diet. And I figure, what better time to talk about number 2 than in video number 2. So in video number 2, talk about poo. Anyway, So my belief, the reason why this happens is kind of 2 reasons. One is once you cut out carbs hold on to a lot of fluid and water in our bodies. They kind of hold it in our bodies. And so once you cut out carbs, your body kind of releases all of that water. So it's true, once people will criticize keto diets or carnivore diets, that your initial weight loss is going to be just water loss. And it's kind of true, because your body holds on to a lot of water when you eat a lot of carbs. So you dump a lot of water, so that's going into your fluids, and that's going into your digestive system. And also, your body's just not used to processing fat. Most of us have been raised on believing in eating low fat, and we try to avoid fat as much as we can. We start upping our saturated fat by a lot, and our body just has to get used to handling it. So for those two reasons, it's completely normal. It's not a sign that there's a problem with the diet. It's a time limited thing. It will resolve. And but I avoided that by transitioning slowly. So I never had that problem. And plus, from coming from a place of having IBS and having horrible bowel problems, I pretty much couldn't get any worse. So it only got better for me. So slow transition was nice. And also, if you are someone who is, pretty physically active, if you're athletic in any capacity, if you are a runner or engage in any other physical activities and sports, you may notice an initial drop in your performance at first, because your body has to get used to fueling on fat over carbohydrates, and it's a change. It's an adjustment for your body. So I was a runner, and I noticed a dip in my running abilities for a little while, and it's not really, shouldn't be concerning. It's just part of the process of converting to fat fueling with fat. What almost every athletic person will note is that after that dip in performance, and it could be anywhere from weeks to maybe even a month or two, their performance actually improves, and they actually do better than they did prior to carnivore. So it's just recognizing that there may be transition, and kind of accept it and move on. Another thing is to not get caught up in the idea of how many meals that you're supposed to be having a day. A big kind of common theme in the carnivore community is either one meal a day or at most 2 meals a day. It's very satiating diet, and if you eat very, good sized portion meals with very nutrient dense food, it's very possible that you will feel so full you won't want to eat again. And for many, many people, 1 or 2 meals a day is all they need. For me, I still eat 3 meals a day for a couple of reasons. I don't tend to eat large volume of food in one sitting. I've never been a big volume eater, so I eat a little bit smaller portions, so I eat more frequently. And my work schedule doesn't really work for only, I suppose 1 meal a day it would work, but I think I would just not get enough in me on 1 meal a day. And 2 meals a day, I don't know, I just don't think I could work it with the way my work schedule works. So 3 meals feels great for me. I feel good. I have breakfast before I leave for work in the morning, so it's usually somewhere around 6:30 in the morning. I have lunch somewhere around 1, and dinner somewhere around 6 at night. A common day's food for me would be 3 or 4 over easy eggs with a tablespoon of butter melted on top of them, and about a tablespoon of goat cheese also mixed all in with that. And for lunch, usually hamburger patties, or just ground beef broken up, and I put pat of butter on that. And dinner is either more ground beef or ribeye steak, sometimes some fish. If I do eat chicken, it's more of the darker meat, the fattier meat, like drumsticks, thighs, wings that I bake, and that's about it. Some of the blessings are, you do not crave food between meals. I know when I was eating a standard diet and a vegan diet, pretty much as soon as I finished a meal, I was looking for a snack. And then that time period between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and dinner, I was always looking for snacks. Every hour or two, I was wandering the kitchen or, looking for the next thing to put in my face. just always just looking for a snack. And I would have to take stuff with me to work. I'd have my midday banana because at 10 o'clock I'd be starving. It just, you don't think about food anymore. It's crazy. You think about food when you get hungry, coming up on meals. You thoroughly enjoy your meals, and then that's it. There's no brain power consumed with thinking about food. For the next several hours, food is just not on your radar. And, to be honest, I think in the last 100 years, the way we treat food is bizarre. Food should be nutrition and fuel for our bodies. But it's in this world of highly processed, hyper palatable food, food available everywhere all the time, just snacks abound everywhere. We just are constantly thinking about food and wanting to consume food, and it becomes just an obsession to a point. And in another video, you can talk about how that is related to events. I mean, when we think about getting together with family for a holiday or a cookout or any other special event, immediately the first thing is you're thinking about food and what everybody's going to be eating. Who hasn't thought about like going to a cookout and you look forward to the chips and dip and the desserts and the snacks, and so that's probably a topic for another video about just changing your mindset about events and gatherings and enjoying family time without having to totally connect it to food, how to separate it out. So mainly I wanted to kind of talk about the foods that I do eat, and in another video, like I said, we'll talk about event eating and things like that. All right, so for now, I just want to kind of end it here, and probably in another video, I want to talk about some great resources, books, videos, podcasts, people who definitely help me in this walk, find my way and figure this stuff out. It's important to look at scientific stuff as well, because you just don't want to follow something blindly. You want to feel confident and comfortable that it truly is healthy. So, maybe some resources on where to find that information as well. I really appreciate you, and thanks for listening. God bless.